Hey, hello everybody, this is Purge, and I'm bringing you guys a pro gameplay, or a pro game, sorry, I always mess that one up, damn. We're going to be watching DTS versus Fnatic here, and it's going to be a fun game from the Star Series once again. A couple weird stand-ins going on. It looked like Bulba was going to co-cast this with Melk, and then PGG asked if Bulba could stand in for them, so he's going to be playing on their team, I guess. A little interesting how that works out, but PGG's team hasn't really been extremely stable recently. His team that is actually DTS, this is DTS versus Fnatic, and it's more or less PGG plus 4 players who are semi-unknown. In this game, Bulba will be standing in. If you guys don't know who Bulba is, he's one of the best North American players currently. He plays on It's Gosu, their team. Very, very talented players. I've seen them do some awesome stuff, so the game's going to get started off, and it's going to be beautiful, absolutely true. Did I say gameplay? I need to stop reading chat while I cast, man. It confuses me so much. It's tough for my brain to do multiple things at the same time. Alright, so it's going to be a Beastmaster as well as a Venomancer ban from PGG's team DTS. For the Dire team, we see a Nature's Prophet as well as an Anti-Mage now get thrown down, and finally a Darkseer. So a lot of really good heroes left in the pool. Invoker, one of them, of course. We'll see if he gets banned. If not, Invoker, heroes like Shadow Shaman will make it through. A little curious why PGG banned out Beastmaster in first round, but the Invoker will get banned by Fnatic now. And what else are we going to get? First pick coming for the Radiant team, and then Fnatic will be able to respond with 2 picks. Windrunner is still in the pool, Tidehunter is still in the pool. Those are some possibilities. I'm sure I'm missing some Imbi heroes off the top of my head, but and when they get picked up, I will be confused, like, oh, how did I forget about them? But Darkseer's gone, at least. Surprisingly, people still banning him out. He did just get some slight nerfs. His Aghanim Scepter does not spawn an extra illusion, but understandably, I think it's still worth banning him, because Vacuum is just so useful in so many different situations. Chen is the hero that I completely forgot about, so Chen gets picked up by DTS here. Enchantress could be counterpicked by Fnatic, which they may go for. Enchantress can generally do a little bit better at shutting down Chen's early jungling, just because you can enchant creep away from the Chen. But that remains to be seen. I expect Fnatic to try to snag an Ancient Apparition later in the pick pool if they possibly can, because preventing them from healing is always going to be really, really fantastic. And they will pick up a Shadow Shaman and a Tidehunter. So this makes me think the Radiant team is probably going to snag a Windrunner now, and maybe something like a Sand King is going to be a possibility. Just the tons of AoE damage that comes out of Sand King is wonderful. And those are definitely the possible options. Enchantress still in the pool, won't get picked by the Radiant team, like I said. Windrunner is definitely a possibility. I know, I can't believe it, guys. Windrunner is going to get picked once again for the first time ever. I'm sure you've never seen that before. But it will be in this game, guaranteed, pretty much. I'd be surprised if Windrunner made it to the second round bans. If she does, she'll probably get banned there instead. That's usually pretty typical as well. So, still waiting down to the bonus time, and there is the Windrunner. Didn't have to wait long for that one, that's for sure. And it's going to be a Vengeful Spirit as well, so kind of an interesting lineup, but nothing really that weird in the first round yet. Vengeful Spirit allows you for such great ganking. Swap as well as just a stun plus Wave of Terror can pick out so many and pick off so many squishy heroes, or even hard to kill heroes. That's the best thing about it. Just being able to swap and throw the stun after that is always going to work out really, really nicely. So, Crystal Bane is going to get picked up for the Radiant team now. It's going to provide them a little bit of aura as well as some great ganking potential. Crystal Nova will allow for that AoE slow, and then Frostbite as well, great ganking tool against a lot of heroes, especially heroes like Windrunner especially. When you use Windrun on Windrunner, you become very, very fast, and that would be the perfect time for a Frostbite from Crystal Maiden. It doesn't act, it's not actually a real stun. It does a mini stun and then entangles you, which means you can't move. You can still cast spells, but you cannot move. So it's the perfect ability to use against Windrunner when she tries to get away like that. So Crystal Maiden going to be very useful against Windrunner, and I'm sure against other heroes like Chen as well. Just being able to put a Frostbite down on a Chen creep, it's that ability happens to last a very, very long duration, kind of a carryover from Dota 1. In Dota 1, your disables, in Warcraft 3, sorry. In Warcraft 3, your disables work much better on non-hero units, so heroes like neutral creeps, this was applied as well. So Frostbite works a very long duration on neutral creeps, and a much shorter duration on heroes, but that's just a little bit of carryover from good old Warcraft 3, so just a nice little thing to know. Slaughter is going to get banned by the Dire team, and looks like DTS bans out a Priest of the Moon as well as a Broodmother. And understandable, they don't want to deal with the Broodmother. Broodmother's solo pushing power is really, really strong. And the Priest of the Moon, we've been seeing a crap load of Priest of the Moon lately, and played very well, especially yesterday. We saw a Priest of the Moon get played by, who was that? I can't remember what team that was. I think it was Western Wolves. Western Wolves. The player on Western Wolves played Priest of the Moon amazingly. Got tons of really good long-range arrows, and once you get those and get those follow-up kills, you know, you can carry that into semi-carry potential, and in the mid-game you're doing really well as well. So that was a really fun game. Great Priest of the Moon there, but we're going to see a Tiny this game. And I've seen DTS actually, they played Tiny last time as well when I saw them play. He actually did it very, very well. No, I'm thinking of Sing Sing now. I was watching Sing Sing play, and he is in Team Mouse. But last time I did see DTS, there was a Tiny additionally. So a lot more play with Tiny recently. The Aghanim Scepter, very powerful. Getting an AC on top of that means dead tower is pretty much guaranteed. But with that Blink Dagger, you can possibly do some easy killing of enemy heroes. So if we look at Fnatic right now, they have a decent amount of squishy heroes. Shadow Shaman is a good target. Crystal Maiden, obviously a good target, and even Queen of Pain. If she's not blinking, her HP is not very, or she's not very survivable. So I think Tiny can definitely make it happen like that alone.
10 seconds remaining.
And 10 seconds left on the clock before we swing into some bonus time. There's a last pick coming. It's actually going to be a Lifestealer going for their semi to hard carry there. I don't completely like this for the reason that Queen of Pain can blink every 6 seconds. It's going to be really tough for Lifestealer to score a kill there, unless there is follow-up stuns from other people. That is one thing that is going to be absolutely great. Morphling's going to be the last pick for Fnatic. He's going to allow them to be their hard carry. Going to be very useful against Lifestealer, so it's going to be a fun game. I haven't seen Morphling too often now. He's getting played more and more often, with Anti-Mage banned especially. Anti-Mage a great counter against Morphling, but I'm at the point now where I like to see Morphlings get played in professional games, so that's what we're going to be seeing, guys. Interesting heroes in this game, a Tiny as well as a Lifestealer, not the most common heroes. And for the Dire team, not only Queen of Pain, but a Morphling as well. The rest of the heroes all pretty standard, so it's always fun to see teams go a little bit interesting with their hero picks like that. So for the Radiant team, we have Rain the LTT playing the Vengeful Spirit. We have PGG is going to be playing the Windrunner. Bulba is going to be playing the Chen. He is standing in this game. Zver is going to be playing the Tiny. And finally, the hero on the bot lane, that's going to be 299792458. Oh, I know who that guy is. Lifestealer. No, I have no idea. But he's going to be for the Dire team. Looks like he has some bloody foot. It's don't look very. Those are like weird footprints, but it's okay. It's from his bloody paws, I think. All right, for the Dire team, this is going to be Fnatic here. Bucktop is going to be playing the Tidehunter. We have Baha on the Crystal Maiden. Mitch is going to be playing the Morphling on the top lane. We have Grazine, and finally the last player is going to be Gordon playing the Queen of Pain. So he is going to be soloing on the bot lane with the Queen of Pain. I think this is it's a smart place to be able to put a Queen of Pain as a bot lane solo, because she does have that blink and she's a ranged hero. She's actually very capable at soloing the bot lane. And to be wise, on top of that, picked up 2 tangos with the salve to have extra regen. This is always a really smart thing to do if you're soloing the hard lane, just because you will be taking damage, and a simple tango and a salve is oftentimes not going to be enough. So I like when players do that. If you buy extra regen, you guarantee that you're going to have a little bit extra more survivability in your lane, and you won't get screwed over as hard. So looks like the blocking a little bit misplay there by Gordon, but it's going to squeak on past. Usually if you can, you want to let the range creep squeak by first, but that may not end up happening. So if we look at the lanes, it looks like this might actually be a tri-lane in the mid lane. Morphling doesn't usually go in the mid lane, but high stats here. +8 agility, +5 to his other stats here. Most likely going to go for a bottle. If he's on the mid lane, I'm expecting a bottle. And there's an illusion pickup by Crystal Maiden. There is some vision from the Radiant team. Ward on the high ground. And Zver looks like he bought a courier at the start. No, he's actually saving up for a bottle. So interesting item build. This looks like support item build, but his gold level at what it is now, he is actually going for a pretty fast bottle. So always nice to have a little adjustment. Morphling going to get more or less free farm here. He can't really be too aggressive against the Crystal Maiden. She does go for Frostbite level 1. That'll give her some nice chasing power. And PG, of course, on the top lane, getting some solo farm. Not very typical to see a Rasta up here either, but they don't really want to place the Morphling as well as the Crystal Maiden Tide up against a solo Windrunner. They can shut down Windrunner, but then Tiny is going to have a decent time against Shadow Shaman. And Shadow Shaman can actually solo this pretty evenly. He's a very great solo hero, so I like the lane setup here for Fnatic. I think it's very smart. This allows them to shut down the Tiny and make Windrunner do okay, but not amazing, and still give Rasta a good laning experience. And also, Tide's going to do some stack pulling. Ooh, he's going to miss the pull, though. Pretty big mistake there made by Tidehunter. He was a little bit late for that. I don't know what he's doing, not paying attention, but that's going to be some lost experience. That could have denied that entire creep wave there and gotten into some free farm. Here's a gank coming in with the smoke, though. Bulba playing Shen coming on through. There's the Vengeful Spirit stun and the nukes as well. Great play. That's going to be first blood. Tiny picking that one off there with a toss. Once again, last time I saw the Tinies get played, they always go for toss maxed a little bit early because the damage is very, very reliable. So, great play so far, good burst damage, Vengeful Spirit stun, Satyr Hellcaller is a lot better now, has 600 mana, it is so much mana, and not to mention the regen aura is now a little bit buffed as well, so Satyr Hellcaller is better than they used to be, and Lifestealer's on the bot lane, up against a Queen of Pain, so kind of an interesting matchup, but he does have his boots picked up, he's got a Stout Shield as well, so any harassing he takes from Queen of Pain will be slightly reduced, if he gets lucky of course. Stout Shield doesn't always block, but here comes the gank, probably not going to see an open wounds, there's a one hit, thinking about doing a blink, but just not going to see a stun. There's the stun landing, and we'll get a couple more hits in, so pretty good harass going on the Queen of Pain. She's going to need a tango. Might go for, I think a salve would have been a better choice, but she's pretty much fine no matter what. It's unlikely that Lifestealer will be able to get a kill, and Vengeful Spirit's not going to have a stun for a little bit now, so she will be playing it safe, undoubtedly. Back on the mid lane, Tiny, once again, getting first blood on the Crystal Maiden. That's going to be nice for his lane that he's obviously losing thus far. And if we look at the last hits, he is currently at one last hit. He has one hero kill and one last hit. That's it. Lifestealer at 16 or 17 now. Chen at 7 and 9 for Windrunner, but not looking too good for the Radiant team so far. Look at the Dire team. Their numbers are much higher. 4 of their heroes are picking up farm, or at least 3 for sure. And let's check out the gold graph to see what the real truth is the matter is. And Radiant team actually in the advantage. Are they really out farming? First blood happened right here, so it wasn't the Dire's advantage, and then jumped heavily towards the Radiant, jumped back down, and then the second kill, which I just missed, Lifestealer getting the kill. He's going to get sent back by the Chen, and Bulba takes a bunch of damage, but Queen Pain gets picked off, so sorry about that. That was a pretty bad miss. I did not catch that one, but might see another engagement Crystal Maiden coming down. There's the Flying Courier, but running up to the high ground, he's got absolutely full mana. There's the AoE slow now on the Vengeful Spirit, a couple hits coming through from the Morphling. Morphling will be able to steal this kill with the waveform. Just need to work him down a little bit far. Wow, huge play there by the Vengeful Spirit, dodging the waveform. Giant mistake by Mitch. That was a guaranteed kill on the Morphling, and he gave up, actually. But Queen of Pain is going to clean up, though. Crystal Maiden gets the last hit, but that's bad, man. Morphling wanted that free kill. Great dodge from Vengeful Spirit. That was really, really nicely done. 1,200 gold on the Morphling now. It's going to be hitting that Tiny whenever possible. Tiny does have an invisibility picked up, though. So if he does get ganked, he will have some reliable saves there. Tidehunter being aggressive now. Vengeful Spirit TPing in, looking for a kill on the Shadow Shaman. There's the speed, there's the stun, there's the power shot. Decent damage being done, but tons being done to PGG as well. The Shackle does not go down. I'll keep an eye on Rasta as well. There's the salve popped by PGG, and Shadow Shaman doing the same thing. And Tidehunter is going to do a lot of damage to the Windrunner. They're absolutely great. Now changing targets going on to Tidehunter. Tidehunter will get picked off. Over aggressive, but they do get PGG. That's a good trade there. Shadow Shaman able to get the EXP and the gold there. Trade a Tide for a Windrunner any day. Vengeful Spirit is not likely to impact the mid game nearly as strongly as something like a Windrunner would. Morphling and Crystal Maiden on the high ground on the middle lane. Can check the farm rates once again. Things are getting a little bit more equal. Still a slight gold advantage for the Radiant team, but not a gigantic amount. And Bulba pulling, doing a little bit of pulling now. He's got Sentry Wards. He has another smoke ready to go. 284 gold in the bank. He hasn't quite bought boots yet. A little interesting that he's playing a jungling role. That's not the most typical role that Bulba usually plays. It seems like he usually goes for more of a solo, but I haven't actually watched a whole lot of It's Gosu in a while, so I'm not quite sure what their general matchups are going to be. But Windrunner's going to pull the creep wave past. Only going to snag 2 of these. Not completely sure why he did this. He may have just been trying to sight out a couple things, but he does pull the creep wave past. He's going to continue to get some decent last hits while Vengeful Spirit heals up. Apparently taking some damage recently. Are we going to see Bottle Crown on Tiny? He's level 5 now. Morphling level 5 as well. No, nothing purchased yet for him. He's got 1,500 gold. What is he going to be buying? I don't even know. And once again on the bot lane, looks like Lifestealer being moderately well harassed. There is a Scream of Pain. Scream of Pain is getting leveled on the Queen of Pain, so assuming that he can't cast Rage in time, he will get some good hits off, and he's going to buy his Helm of Iron Will. Helm of Iron Will, a component of Armlet. It's going to give him some nice armor as well as some good HP regen, and here comes the gank once again. There's the blink past. We may see the net. He is actually going to throw the net. Does have a Test of Faith, but he's actually going to back up. A little interesting skill build, though. Usually we see Test of Faith 2 levels by 3. That's because an extra level of Holy Persuasion doesn't really accomplish a whole lot. I hear Shackle Shot going down and a stun as well. So they're going to try to kill the Morphling. He will get picked off. Big mistake there. He spent all of his gold. And it is going to be Treads and a Wraith Band recipe, I guess. I'm assuming those are his items. That is going to give him item slots, I believe. Yeah, Wraith Band and a Treads, so... Bet he wishes that he had those Treads right there. A couple burst damages from a power shot, as well as that stun and the combo. The Avalanche Toss combo makes a big difference. Wards gets dropped on the top lane, though. Fnatic wants to take this tower. He's going to clear the creep wave. Wards will do a lot of that work as well, so... tower will be taking some damage here. They're going to need another creep wave to come through to tank it. And there's the Glyph being popped, so this could be very dangerous for Fnatic right now. Shadow Shaman's going to take a bunch of tower shots as well, at the very least, since Ward's not dying. But Windrunner are likely to clean those up right now, and she is actually going for him, so... Next creep wave comes through, only 4 left, and Windrunner's continuing to get those last hits, getting a lot of farm from this, but they may still be able to get the tower. We'll see. The next creep wave will come through. There's the Gush now on PGG. There's the Zap as well, almost killing PGG, down to 113 HP. And no catapult. Yeah, actually, there is a catapult. That's going to guarantee the tower does go down here, but who will get the last hit, or is it going to be denied? It is Tidehunter picking that up. So Windrunner is fine with that. There's a tiny stun, actually, going for a kill, but a nice juke there by Tidehunter. He's going to back on up from this, and they're unlikely, unless we see a Venge toss. It's going to be tough now with creeps there, but could maybe seen Vengeful Spirit get tossed forward and get a stun off that way, but just did not happen, so... Crystal Maiden now doing a little bit of roaming. Level 5, 2 levels of Nova, 2 levels of Frostbite, 1 Aura. Going to give some nice contribution to the allies. Morphling still 800 HP. Wraith Band with his agility tread, so his last hitting will be excellent right now. Very good last hitting for him. Lifestealer, level 7, has been soloing this game the entire time so far. Rage is at level 3, so he's going to have lots of magic immunity in case Queen of Pain ends up trying to score a kill on him. He can do things like dodge spells just by activating that. He's going to get little hits off if he can. Every hit that he lands down with that feast is going to give him a little bit of lifesteal, as well as doing some decent damage to the Queen of Pain.
I'm going into hiding.
Crystal Maiden finding an invisibility rune. Radiant team does not spot that out. This is a dire ward here. So he may get into position and kill this Tiny. It's going to be a little tough because his HP is kind of high, but his armor is so low. And here he goes getting into position. There's the ice block. There's a couple hits. There's the slow as well. A little bit used early, but here comes the waveform to score the kill. And not going to be juked this time. Mitch actually scores his first kill, I believe. And yes, that is his first kill. 1 kill, 1 death, 1 assist. So that'll give him some nice gold. Not to mention shutting down the Tiny is always going to be great. There's a smoke on the Chen as well as the Vengeful Spirit. They're going to be looking for a kill in the bot lane. Lifestealer is going to be in some trouble. He actually infests on a creep, but has to run away now. Likely to die. Will have a Gush following up. There's the Gush and the Zap, and he does not get saved. Coming in for the follow-up stun now on the Shadow Shaman. The center will be slow, but Radiant team will back up from this. Oh, there's the stun from the center. Here comes Test Faith. Great play there by Bulba. Wards will pick him off, though. And there's the toss on the center, doing some decent damage. Tide will ulti this, going after the Vengeful Spirit. And will Venge die. There's the AoE. Great job by Crystal Maiden showing up for that one as well. And they get able to get the Vengeful Spirit. Tiny now in some trouble. He does get Frostbite. Level 2 Frostbite. No abilities coming out of the Tidehunter. He's out of mana there. Up to 1,300 gold though at 9 minutes. Arcane Boots it up, man. Just do it. There it is. Arcane Boots picked up by the Tidehunter. That is great for both the Shadow Shaman and the Crystal Maiden. He's not going to have mana problems for the rest of the game, that's for sure. Tiny going to go look for some runes now.
Top tower is under attack.
And mid lane still Morphling farming it up, so Radiant team has to be very careful. If this Morphling gets at least a decent amount farm, Lifestealer's not going to be able to outcarry. There's always an issue with any melee hero, basically, is that in the mid to late game, especially the late game when your squishy heroes don't die in like 5 or 6 hits, if they get a Ghost Scepter up or something like that, or if even they just have enough survivability so that if you go through a full burst damage chunk, like if you open wounds a guy and hit him like 6 times or something, they don't always die from that. And after that point, it becomes very, very hard for him to get kills on heroes. Unlike a ranged hero, you generally get more auto attacks off. So I expect Morphling to be much stronger than him at some point. There's the disable. Is he going to be able to get there in time? Oh, he tries to deny the haste rune, but it... Oh, he did. Okay, good. He did actually deny the haste. Great job. Might see the waveform any second here. Oh, yep, the Shackle will not latch hardcore. There's the waveform, and that will get the kill. Great play by Morphling. Power shot hits him now. Needs to be morphing, and he is actually morphing, but the damage he's taking is pretty heavy. He does have a wand to pop. He does not pop his wand. Pop your wand. Pop your wand. Thank God he pops his wand, but there's the waveform. Going to dodge the power shot. Oh, the Wave of Terror gets the kill. Great play there, but Morphling, that was sloppy shit, man. That was sloppy shit. I know he was maybe saving the wand until he was about to die, and he was able to survive, but wow, that was a lot of damage. Maybe he wanted to save his wand, but I thought for sure he was going to use that a lot earlier. I mean, just dodging just dodging the waveform, or dodging the arrow was already pretty dangerous, but he does end up getting picked off, so great play there. There's a Hex on the high ground. Ward Trap not going to get it. They needed that Ward Trap to get that kill. Moderate mistake made by Grazine there. If he got that Ward Trap, that would have been an extra round of wards hitting on PGG, and that would have been a kill. He actually didn't have the mana for Shackles. Part of the problem is that he's actually maxing Shackles second here. Ooh, the TP coming through by Tiny, but he got scared. Saw the wards up. He probably would have died there. And the last hit will happen for the Shadow Shaman. Tiny's going to have to run back to lane as a result of that mistake. There he is, actually. Does have his bottle up with that wand. Lifestealer now going to go farm on the top lane. Everywhere Queen of Pain goes, the solo Lifestealer will follow. We'll get some decent regen up. He's going to have an armlet and about 500 gold now. Once he does get that armlet, lots of physical damage. Great attack speed. Tons of creeps here. Nice stack there by Bulba. We'll be stacking this off, killing one of the creeps and spawning some skeletons most likely. Or more importantly, just allowing a place for his Lifestealer to farm later in the game once he does find the jungle. It's going to be smoke up by Fnatic. Tidehunter is visible, but it's not a huge deal. Crystal Maiden as well as Shadow Shaman are in position. And it looks like Morphling's going to be pushing this out now. He's up to 2k gold, hasn't bought any new items since then. Kind of an interesting skill build. Usually we see something like a Ring of Aquila on Morphling, but he doesn't quite have that picked up yet. Tower will be taking decent damage, likely to fall. Radiant team going to try to trade here, take the top tower in the meantime. And that's down to 500 HP. There's the glyph being popped. Gordon might think about ulting this, but it's probably not worth it. Would not be able to stop the push here with that alone. But I love the Devil Troll Warlord picked up by Bulba here. Windrunner's going to tank the tower just a little bit. Interesting, going for lots of Windrun this game over a higher level Shackle Shot. Interesting choice, but the skeletons do get spawned here by Bulba. There will be a big team fight coming. Tidehunter going to be looking for the Ravage. Here it comes. Ravage goes off. Hits like 3 heroes. Shackle as well. There's the ulti trying to kill the Crystal Maiden. Great Shackle by the Shadow Shaman to stop Crystal Maiden from getting killed. There's the waveform coming through as well. Chen will get picked off here by the Morphling. Couple auto attacks, and that Queen of Pain now pursuing just enough mana for another Scream of Pain. And here comes a dead Vengeful Spirit, and there's the stun actually. Crystal Maiden will have to steal that kill, going after Windrunner as well as the Lifestealer. Now waveform comes through, doesn't do quite enough damage, and Morphling is still trying to pursue. He's going to pop his wand. He actually does have an ultimate rope, and the Scream of Pain will score the kill. Nicely done. I think Windrunner will be absolutely fine. Oh, no, he goes aggressive. Once again, the waveform will miss. PGG will run back, and 225 extra damage from the Scream of Pain. Great team fight there for Fnatic. They definitely won that pretty handily. Tidehunter ulti. Can't believe Tidehunter is alive, but great save on the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden did not get killed. Shadow Shaman was able to support that, and they had absolute great coverage of one another and Morphling just jumped in and made shit happen. That's the best thing, so... Yeah, Ultimate Orb up on the Morphling is going to give him some good early game potential. He doesn't actually have his Perseverance up yet. I assume he's going for a Lincoln Sphere, and if we look at the Radiant team, I think a Lincoln Sphere would be pretty smart. It would stop Open Wounds, it would stop Test of Faith, it would stop Vengeful Stun, it would stop Shackle Shot on Windrunner, so lots of good options there. Is there another stack? Apparently... Oh no, he actually jacked the Wildkin. This is another reason he's probably stacking, because then he has more options for creeps. It's kind of like a banked up pool, yeah, and that's exactly what he did here. Has a banked up pool of a Wildkin and Ursa Warrior, so he doesn't have to spend as much time running from camp to camp to refill his neutral creeps this way. So that's pretty cool. Cool little method that Bulba is using there. He's got a Hedgers of Rejuvenation up, so he's going to be going for a fast mechanism if he can get there. Lifestealer still does not have his armlet picked up. And Morphling now at 1300 gold. Crystal Maiden get a backup only level 6. 3 Nova, 2 Frostbites currently. And he's going to probably be pretty aggressive here. He doesn't actually have his ulti yet, which is a little peculiar. Almost always seen Morphlings pick up their ulti semi-early at least. But he's going to run into the entire enemy team. No Shackle will land waveform. No, he does get a Shackle. And the nukes are going to be just enough. He did pop his Morph in time, but way too much damage. You cannot tank that much. You cannot tank the entire team at least. Look at these Dire Wards. They didn't have vision of them because they smoked, but even so, he would have been pretty safe otherwise. Didn't get the waveform off. I'm sure he spam-clicked it, but did not get the disable off. So great Shackle there by the Windrunner. It happened to catch him just barely. If not for that, he may have been able to survive. If he got the first waveform off, he would have been fine. So too bad there for Morphling. He's died twice now, I think. 3 times now. Well, 3, 3, and 3. Not exactly where you want your hard carry to be sitting. He is still getting closer to that Linken's or that Manta style. Either one would be a good item choice, but... There's the armlet for the Lifestealer now. He's able to pick that up partially because of that gold kill. Who got the last hit, actually? It's going to be Tiny killing the Morphling. Plenty of damage being done there. And they are back into the jungle. There's a Wildkin and a Centaur. Nice counter ward being put down. I don't know what the duration on that ward was, but another smoke happening this time for Fnatic. Drum of Endurance as well as a Arcane Boots and a Ring of Basilius up in the Shadow Shaman. Not a very typical Shadow Shaman item, but his armor is actually quite low, so I think this is pretty smart as a whole. Crystal Maiden juking around a little bit. Tidehunter going to be looking for the Disable. They will find Chen creeps, but the Radiant team going to back off here. Boba playing it smart. I think they realize there's way too many heroes missing on the map. Something must be up, and there they go. It does run out. Radiant wards do not have vision over here. It stops about here. So Radiant does not know where they are at. Bulba's still trying to scout things out a little bit, take as much farm as possible. And they are going to run past the Observer Ward, so now they know that their fears were correct. Morphling at 1500, still no TP scroll, still no ultimate. He's level 11 now. He's got tons of stats though. 3, 6, 16. So he only has one stat level, one level of stats only. And there's another counter ward going down that's going to be mostly full ward as well as a sentry. So using the courier to spot that a little bit, nicely done. Crystal Maiden doing very, very little damage, but they will be able to prevent that from happening. So pretty cool stuff. Lifestealer picking up some ancient creeps. Queen of Pain pushing the top lane. She has a Perseverance. Are we just going to see Team Linken's? I think we will. Linken's is a lot better than it used to be. Ever since the latest patch when they prevented Linken's from being disabled by things like Medallion or Urn, both of those options were pretty overly easy to disabling that. Ooh, they knew... Oh, are they going to dodge it? This is a little bit of an issue for the Radiant team. They knew that there was a Sentry Ward there, so if there was an Observer Ward also up, the Dire team could have vision of them right now. Looks like Boba's going to kill the Sentry. Pretty weird. They assumed that there was an Observer up. I don't know if they... I don't know, that was a little weird. I think they obviously thought that Fnatic was rushing, and they were like, okay, they're rushing, we have to be there. And then it wasn't happening, so a little weird, but Morphling now with his Perseverance, he is guaranteed going to be going to Linken's first. Radiant team looking like they want to take their the tier 1 tower on the bottom. They're actually down behind towers, and if we look at the gold graph as well, it's actually a 5 to 7k advantage for them. Tiny's going to do a stun toss combo to clear the creep wave. He's going to pick up a level of Garrote, now level 9. He does not have a Blink Dagger, but they will be able to take this tower. Dire team may be able to get Dire is definitely going to be able to take the top tier 2 in exchange for this. This is always going to be a great trade. Tiny gets the last hit on it, and Queen of Pain destroys the tower, and they're going to continue pushing. They still have pretty good creeps up. There's the AoE coming through the toss as well. A little unnecessary, but it doesn't matter. Tidehunter is in position, but he's a little scared. He's going for a hood. He'll get there eventually. There's a Gush. It looks like he wants to go in, but I think it would be smart for the Radiant team. Yeah, he did not pop his ulti there. Wouldn't have been a good opportunity. Morphling still no Linken's getting close, though. Tidehunter thinking about initiating. He's going to get shackled. No, he does not. Centaur will stun him, taking big burst damage. He's got to be careful here. He does not want to get picked off before he gets an ulti off. Ooh, Vengeful Spirit might get sighted. Looks like Queen of Pain did see him. Are we going to see the blink? There's the blink forward. Here comes the Stream of Pain. There's the poison. He is going to be slowed. Crystal Maiden will get followed shortly. There's the AoE. And this could be it for Venge. There's the heal. Are we going to see the ulti? There's the send back to Tiny. Oh, great play there by Tiny, getting the combo off. Queen of Pain blinking right into that one. Shadow Shaman on the high ground. I love his positioning here. He's actually trapped in by Ancients. Nice shackle, though. And he's taking neutral creep damage. Who's going to get the hit? Is it going to be neutrals? He does get killed by a neutral. Morphling in the mix, though. Crystal Maiden will get picked off, and Morphling might be in some issue now. He's going to wait for him on out and running away. Neutrals, MVPs of that team fight. Shadow Shaman wanted the vision from the high ground. I liked his play there, but unfortunately for them, he did get shackled from the Windrunner, and that more or less guaranteed the death, so. Looks like Windrunner switching to the mid lane, going straight for a Drum of Endurance because Chen is going for a mechanism, so not the most required thing. And usually we see Windrunners just go for a Force Staff instead, but his farm is so behind where it should be as a Windrunner, he just didn't really do that great on the top lane. 0, 2, and 4, he has no kills yet. That's going to be his Drum, so Drum will give him very, very cheap stats, and that's going to allow him to contribute a decent amount despite being behind. Looks like Vengeful Spirit going for the same item, but it's not a big deal if multiple people get the Drum of Endurance. It's so cost efficient for the stats and what it gives you that losing a little bit of money from having the Aura stack is not a big deal. And the charges run out anyways, so hypothetically they can have 8 super fast team fights instead of just 4. So back to more farming. Bulba's going to have to pick up all of his creeps. It looks like they did die in the last team fight. He still does not have his mechanism up at 20 minutes, so he's a little bit behind. And there's the 75k gold difference, but it's still 12 to 15 game. It's pretty even. And I want to see, does Morphling have his Linken's? He finally does have his Linken's. Here comes the waveform through. He does throw it on the Adaptive Strike. Didn't do a whole bunch of damage, about 200 or so. but he can cast that fairly often. It's only 100 mana now, so, and his mana regeneration is pretty decent. Still no TP scrolls on him. A little bit of an interesting Morphling so far, not the most typical by any means, but looks like Radiant Team, DTS going to be looking for that push. There's another Adaptive Strike going down, and the toss, at least the Avalanche for sure is going to get these last hits. Picking up 4 there, Bulba now pushing up. Still no mechanism. There's the Blink Dagger for Tiny. It's going to be on the way though, so he's not going to have it for this team fight. Are we going to see a deny in the tower? Morphling wants it. He tries for it. He does not get it. Lifestealer picks that one off. 450 gold going directly to him. What is he going to go next? He's got 2600. Could go many, many ways. Lifestealer builds are up in the air at the moment. But Tiny does have his Blink Wand bottle. Could do a combo on Queen of Pain. Will be unlikely to get the kill though. Her HP is just a little bit too high. It is nighttime, so he does not see her. Vision range, as you can see, is not super huge at nighttime. And back in the jungle with the Chen. One more creep and he will have his mechanism finished. Probably going to max out the Test of Faith next. That'll keep him able to contribute with a nice burst damage. And Shadow Demon, Shadow Shaman. Wow, Shadow Shaman will clean up a couple neutrals right there. So Morphling back on the top lane now. Pretty giant creep wave here for him to farm. Next items that he's probably going to want. Manta Style is an option. Probably going to be Manta Style. Almost always is Manta Style, just to give him some good pushing power, as well as the overall great stats and damage that it contributes. Manta is great for... It's not an amazing damage item, but it's a nice damage item, and it also gives you good survivability, so it's almost always going to be the best choice for a hero like Morphling. So it's going to continue to get free farm, though. His supports are in position in case he gets ganked. Tidehunter very close to his pipe. Doesn't have it quite yet. Still needs about 700 gold there. And Crystal Bane I'm doing fine. But max level Crystal Nova allows her to do up to 250 AoE damage and a nice slow as well on the entire enemy team. That's always very, very nice. I hear a Shackle. Looks like it's a gank on the top lane. Is there a Ward Trap? I cannot tell. Lifesteal actually does look like he's Ward Trap. The arm, it's going to give him a ton of HP though. He kills one ward and he will run away. He actually does have a Blink Dagger. So he opts for the Blink Dagger this game. We do sometimes see that he's going to infest now on the neutrals, or on the regular creeps. That's going to give him a bunch of HP. And could maybe go on the wards, but he's going to opt not to do so. So with this Blink Dagger, what he's going to be able to basically do is blink into the team fight and get in there a little bit faster. This is something that we haven't seen as much as often. I think this is kind of a mistake because they have a Tiny on their team. And lately when I've been seeing Lifestealers get played, they rely on somebody else's Blink Dagger to initiate. So what they can do is infest one of their allies blinks in, they pop out, do the AoE damage, and then they start attacking. And now Lifestealer's not going to hit nearly as hard. He does have the mobility at least, but he could have been getting that from another hero like Tiny. It could make his build a little bit more cost efficient, you know? That's an interesting trade-off that they went for. If somebody else gets the Blink Dagger, why are you buying a Blink Dagger? So I think that's a slight mistake for him. He's up to 1700 gold now. He will have more utility by himself. He won't have to rely on Tiny to necessarily suicide himself, but I think this might be a little bit of an issue. Morphling now getting some more levels. He's finally picking up his ulti. 2300 gold. He's going to buy something. Probably going to be a Yasha. Yes, it is. Going to be that Yasha, giving him good movement speed, good attack speed as well. So a little bit more damage. His agility is pretty conservative right now. His HP about 1400. They do actually have a lot of nukes generally on the Radiant team, so I think this is pretty smart. But Yasha going to give him an extra 16 agility, 31 total % attack speed, and some nice movement speed as well. So the entire Radiant team is ready to fight there. Are they going to find anyone? I don't. Did they spot Tidehunter? I think they must have spotted Tidehunter. He's going to reveal the team though. Radiant team's still a little afraid to go for the Roshan. A little interesting. Tiny was invisible. No, he's still smoked up. So I think all their smokes got revealed by that Tiny there, and Morphling now going to be in some Ancient Creeps. So they're going to continue farming. I think this is a slight issue for the Radiant team. Like I said, Lifestealer won't be as powerful late game as somebody like a Morphling will be. But I guess they're going to be... I mean, it's not like they're not looking for ganks. They are looking for ganks, but they are going to find an Observer Ward. That one was pretty low. I don't know if that was where they smoked up or not, but... Good. Lots of great counter warding being done so far. There's going to be a Replicant of a Tidehunter. I love this play here. Tidehunter very tanky. And making a Replicant of him, he's going to definitely be a target in the early fight. At the very least, you can scare them into assuming that a Tidehunter ulti is going to come. He's actually going to send it back, though. This is going to allow the Morphling to be really aggressive if he wants to, because then he can always teleport back to the Tidehunter Replicant. There is a little bit of cooldown, though. He did have 2 levels of Morph, and he's going to go aggressive. He will do that. Does the waveform, does the Adaptive Strike, and immediately gets sent back to the base, and he's going to run on back. So only problem with this now is the Radiant team is going to push up and possibly pressure the tower before he gets back, but They are all waiting around, that is for sure. Tiny looking for a blink. Lifestealer looking for a blink. Everybody's looking for a blink. Shackle goes down. Tidehunter does the blink and do as much damage as possible. They need to pick him off if possible. They do actually get him. Tidehunter no ulti. Waveform comes through. Heal from Chen as well. Looking for the pursuit. Linken's has not been used up. There's the toss. Decent damage being done. Adaptive strike, stun follow-up, but the Linken's will stop that one. And now they're likely to take the tower. Picking enough Tidehunter at the start of the teamfight like that is huge. Oh man, counter push happening. Ross is trying to take the top lane. PGG will teleport back. He will clean up those wards, but this tier 2 is likely to die. There's the TPs coming in. Queen of Pain comes through. There's the Infest. Looks like Lifesteal wants to go aggressive, but he doesn't have any mana. Out of mana completely. No rage for him, and he easily gets picked off there. TP support from the Rasta. Great play from Fnatic. They defend the tower. They pick off the Lifestealer, and that's another problem with going for the Blink Dagger, guys. His mana pool is not that high. And now his mana pool is going to be even more taxed because he has to spend mana for the Blink Dagger. And as you saw there, he decided to fight, he popped the Infest, and he tried to go on the Crystal Maiden, but he didn't get the Magic Immunity, and that guaranteed his failure. Guaranteed it. So, there's a mech from the Shadow Shaman. A little bit of a weird Shadow Shaman item, but there's not really anyone else on his team that would be a little bit appropriate for it, so not a huge deal. There's a Blink Dagger on him as well. There's a Gush going down. Shorshan will go down very, very shortly. All bonus damage. It's actually going to be a Sheep Stick on the Queen of Pain, I'm sorry. So it was not a Linken Sphere for her. I think she made a Perseverance, disassembled the Perseverance, and then made the Sheep Stick, which is a very smart play. I don't know what she's going to do with the Ring of Health now. Could be a Linken Sphere at this point, but it may not be. Sheep Stick, very, very powerful Queen of Pain item, though. I do like that Ultimate Orb into Perseverance. That's really cool. Disassembly is something that a lot of players kind of take for granted, and Perseverance, in a lot of ways, is kind of a crappy item, but if you're building towards a Sheep Stick, that progression is very smart. That's really awesome. I respect that choice a lot. Alright, Chen back in the jungle now, grabbing some more neutrals. He's going to have a Wildkin as well as a Dark Troll. I believe he just has a mech. Yeah, just a mech. Been buying a lot of sentries here. Windrunner does have her 4 staff picked up. They're going to barely get that counter ward in time. That was really, really close. And nothing new on him. Vengeful Spirit up with a drum with a wand, so pretty good HP for her. Nothing new on Lifestealer quite yet. 2,400 gold right now. Point booster picked up on Tiny. This means he's going to go for an Aghanim Scepter, or at the very least he will just sit on a point booster for a while. And Morphling as well, pushing the top lane, 2,100 gold. That'll buy him his Ultimate Orb, so he's very, very close to his Manta Style. Needs about 650 for that recipe. And once they do get that, they may be more willing to push. His team fights are going to be stronger as well. A little bit more AoE damage will come out. Not AoE damage, but pushing power is definitely going to be a possibility. He actually is out of his ultimate, so cannot use that currently. And he's actually going to TP back. He's going aggressive. He wants to jump in. Tidehunter actually does not get his ulti off, but once again, no buyback either. What was he doing, man? He gets picked off going on the Lifestealer now. Decent AoE damage can be done. Nice ward trap, but wow, 4 staff out by the Vengeful Spirit. Great additions from the allies there. Awesomely done there. They got ward trap swapped out and then 4 staff the guy out. They're going to try to take the tower here. This Tiny really wants a great deny by the Morphling. Might get followed up here. Looking for the waveform. He's going to get sent back. Might get killed in time. Nice send back there by Bulba. Stun now goes down on the Crystal Maiden. Queen of Pain initiating. Going in. I don't even know who that was. Windrunner gets picked off easily by the Sheep. Bulba is also sheeped up through the Hex, but he is now backing up. He's out of mana. Not able to pop his heal there in that team fight. Kind of a big loss. That's a 250 HP heal that did not get utilized properly because his mana pool is too low. Unfortunately for him, he just doesn't have the money for an Arcane Boots yet or a Wand or anything like that, so decent loss there. But the Radiant team, they did decently. They picked off the Tidehunter. Considering the fact that Fnatic's able to win this without a Ravage is pretty surprising in a lot of ways. I was not expecting stuff like that. If you lose your Tide Ravage, that's a lot of contribution to your team, but luckily for the Dire team, they have a big gold advantage. This is the main reason that they ended up winning it. They have enough gold advantage that it doesn't really matter. Their items are good enough. And Queen of Pain actually going to go for a BKB now. He's got that Sheep Stick. He's going to get sent back by himself, of course. Replicate, so good for doing that. Agility getting pretty high. Here is going to be his Manta Style. Any second here, he will buy that. Unless he's going for... He might go for an Eagle Horn, I guess. He could go Yasha into Butterfly. That would also be very cool. That would give him more damage in the short term, less pushing power, and less options, but I think that is what he's going to be doing. He's going to the side shop now, I think. 3,300 gold is enough for an Eagle Song. Eagle Song is the name, so we'll probably see him swing over there, grab that Eagle Song, and pick up the Butterfly. That's my guess. And there it is. Okay, so he's going to just grab the Yasha, skip the Manta Style, go for the Butterfly, and then probably after that point, go for the Manta, I think. At that point, once you have the butterfly, your agility is so high that you would actually do quite good damage. So, pretty interesting stuff. His adaptive strike as well, doing an extra 2 damage, or sorry, an extra 50 damage, I believe, with that Eagle Song pickup. So, Windrunner being pursued by Tidehunter. He's got that invisibility. He has a pipe up as well, but still has been dying a little bit too much. His HP needs to be higher. Maybe a vitality booster would be a nice pickup for him. It looks like it's going to be a Hyperstone on the Lifestealer. Whether this will be an Armlet or an AC or a Mjolnir, I'm not quite sure which, but either one of those options actually works out quite nice with Lifestealer. The Mjolnir gives him that nice buff, where if people attack him too much, or if they attack him, there's a chance to reverse some damage, to do some nice AoE in reversal. The Radiant team now pushing up the mid lane a little bit, looking to be aggressive, but mid tower is gone. There's still a tower top, there's also a tower bottom, so you almost always want to take the easy towers first. This one's actually deniable, so slight mistake from the Dire team not taking care of that. And Shadow Shaman's going to TP on out. We'll see if they end up noticing. Looks like the Radiant team isn't wise to the fact either. And PGG helping from the low ground. There's a ward going down, they probably still have not checked the tower, and now the Dire team is looking to defend this. They may actually get vision of the fact that the tower is low, we'll see. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. A little bit of a push from the top lane. Nobody to defend this quite yet. Catapult with some decent damage. And if they're picking the tower, destroy it, man. Destroy the tower. I feel so bad for them. And look at that. PGG is like, oh, the tower's destroyable. Not able to get it. There's the centaur toss. The top. Ooh, nice shackle now. Tidehunter getting killed before he ravages again. I don't know. The stuns are just a little too much. He actually gets the ravage off this game. Going on the Chen now, able to pick him off. The pipe is up, and wow, Tidehunter's going to survive. Great mech play. Going to keep him alive, and they're able to get Tiny as well as the Chen there. Now pursuing after, ooh, nice shackle, or hex, sorry. What? This chicken looks like a Windrunner. I think they're doing that on purpose. I think Valve is doing that on purpose. I'm pretty sure. They're making they're making the hexes look like the actual heroes. That is so cool. That is so ridiculously cool. I saw it with a pig yesterday. Windrunner's head was sticking out of a pig, so they're going to make a pig that looks like Windrunner. I'm pretty sure. I mean, the fact that chicken had like legitimate Windrunner hair, there's no way that was a glitch. They're actually doing awesome things, so that is so cool. Valve, man. Always impressing us. Oh, that was kind of cool. Lifestealer blinked up to the high ground. Queen of Pain blinks down to the low ground. Not able to find him, though. He does have his BKB up. Looks like he did use that last team fight. And he is going for Mjolnir, so he will be picking up the base components shortly. Still needs about 300 for the base recipe, and then another 600 for the recipe after that. But they will get the tier 2 tower here. Lifestealer will run into the Morphling. They're just going to casually walk past each other. There's the blink down from Lifestealer. That's going to just cement the Dire's advantage a little bit higher here. Up to 1200 advantage in gold. So not really looking very good for DTS at the moment. Point Booster is picked up by Chen. Nice balance of HP as well as MP. I think this is a smart decision because buying an Arcane Boots would allow him that mana, but he would still be pretty squishy to physical attacks or just general nukes. So I think this is the smart choice. His mana over time isn't going to be as nice, but I don't think that's a big deal. So Tiny's going to buy his Aghanim Scepter, so he's going to be doing good damage now. This allows you, it changes your damage to siege damage, which is a Warcraft 3, more easily to see in Warcraft 3, but it basically means that his tower damage is going to be ridiculous. He also does a cleave, I believe, so that'll be very nice. His attack speed currently isn't that great, but he'll probably end up selling a bottle pretty soon once he gets the money and picking up something like a Hyperstone. And going for an AC, that would be the smartest thing he could do. So, and there's the Maelstrom up on the Lifestealer. Once again, still needs about 500 gold, I think, for the Mjolnir. And yeah, it is a 600 gold recipe, so. Still pings on Roshan. Roshan is dead, apparently. I don't even know who grabbed that. Yeah, actually, it was Dire Team. Who is sitting on that Aegis? Is it Morphling? It is Morphling. He's actually going for an Ethereal Blade, sorry. He did not go for the Butterfly. Ethereal Blade, very, very smart choice. I feel stupid for not mentioning that before, but Ethereal Blade allows you to basically get a lot of leverage out of your waveform as well as your adaptive strike. Especially when your agility is this high and he's transferred a lot of his strength to his agility. It basically means, well, this item does damage based on how high your agility is. It also makes it so your spells do more, so then he can follow that up with an adaptive strike, and of course this gives agility, so this also makes this ability better, and even your waveform can do good damage this way, so cool item choices by Morphling. I always love to see Ethereal Blades. This is the only hero that you ever see this item picked up on serious games. It's a pretty recent item sometime in the last year, but just doesn't see a lot of play. There's generally not a lot of heroes that it really becomes useful on. Most cases of heroes that are useful with this are int heroes, and you know it's like kind of weird. There aren't a lot of agility heroes basically that have nuke damage. So unfortunately for that, I'm not going to be seeing a lot of Ethereal Blade until maybe something like Phantom Lancer, or Luna is a very good Ethereal Blade carrier, and I'm sorry, yeah, Luna is what I meant to say. And a hero like Nerubian Assassin also works out quite well with this item. So Radiant team gonna back off now. They are just waiting around. Lifestealer is still very close. He's got 25 gold until he does get that Mjolnir. And then he will be able to tank pretty heavily, or at least if while he tanks it'll reflect some decent damage. More spawns being grabbed. Dire team looking for a team fight. They know the game is kind of on an edge. If either team gets a one-sided team fight, it will be a Rax. He's probably going to be aggressive. There it is. Look at that. So much damage being done, taking out half of his HP just with the Ethereal Blade, as well as the Waveform Adaptive Strike. The rest of the heroes are in position to defend if needed. And there's going to be a Plate Mail pickup on the Tidehunter. Also a good way to just drastically increase his survivability. Morphling out of position. Does he have a replicate? Whoa, he gets a kill. Holy crap. Kills the Lifestealer with just Waveform as well as Adaptive Strike. He did have a Replicant up. And great play there by Morphling. Picks up a Manta style. It's going to boost up his agility even higher now, as well as his strength. It gives you 10 strength, so he can now transfer that extra strength over to agility. Great item choice for Morphling. 1500 is where he feels safe. It's up to 119 agility plus 100 on top of that just from his items, so he is looking real good. Shadow Shaman now. Drome of Endurance. Queen of Pain going to be looking around for some other things happening. She's actually going for a Shiva's. 20 gold away for that one. And once she does pick up her Shiva, she's going to be really, really survivable. Magic Immune, Range Disable, as well as a Shiva's, man. Very, 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 very tough to kill Queen of Pain at that point. And the recipe is on the way, at least. Haven't seen a Shiva's in a while. Melk making a joke. This game is too boring even for the Chinese. And Chinese, on average, have played very, very boring Dota. So that is the joke. So it has been a little bit of a farm fest in some ways, but it's understandable. Dire team in still a pretty big advantage, though. They probably should have been a little bit more aggressive and maybe tried to take racks and things like that, but that is okay. Looks like the Aegis will be picked up once again by the Morphling. And he will pick that up, so here comes the push from the Dire team. Actually, there's going to be a fight. Morphling's going to initiate immediately, picks out the Chen. Great play. You always want to get those support heroes if possible. There's the Hex as well, going down a Windrunner. Windrunner's head sticking out of the pig, and the nuke comes through. Tiny, low HP, but trying to pick off the Queen of Pain, but she's so survivable, and the Tide Ravage finally goes down. That is going to clean up the Radiant team. The game gets called. Well played. And they're going to finish off the Lifestealer as well. The Radiant team just literally needed to push a little bit earlier. They weren't able to get early tower advantages there. And the Dire team's farm was just too high there. Their advantage up to 15k and growing here. Morphling now able to easily pick off heroes like Chen at the start of the fight just by using the Ethereal Blade, the Waveform, as well as the Adaptive Strike. And even if he would have died there, he would have still had the Aegis. So, yeah, PGG did say good game. Whoops. Almost lost it. He said, well played.
Radiant's middle tower is
So they know it's over, but I don't know if that counts as a real good game. Yeah, looks like they're going to disconnect, so that's it, guys. Fnatic's going to take the win against DTS. DTS not really showing a stable roster lately, and Bulba's going to stand in, but not able to carry the game solo for some reason. Chens just simply don't have that ability, understandably.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
And the Dire team going to take a decisive victory. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to probably play 1 or 2 pub games. I need to make a Shadow Demon recording for Dota Cinema. I'll probably get that done with now. But then I'm going to take the rest of the night off. So if you guys want to watch that, don't go anywhere. I'll be providing some great Shadow Demon gameplay and commentary until I get a good recording. And so if you guys are interested in watching that, there's the nukes. Ooh, not able to score the heal. Ooh, oh, that was close. Close play there.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And the last towers are down. Bulba gonna micro 5. He's got this. So far, so good. Shackle. Toss, stun. Changing targets. There's the mech. He's actually doing pretty well. Trying to get a kill. Tiny. That's pretty well done. That was pretty well done. Considering how many spells he just casted by himself. That was a one-man Microrine 5, so nicely played there by Bulba, but Fnatic going to take the win, so don't go anywhere, guys. Go check out GoToGamers.net for your Gosu bet as well as esports coverage. Check out my website, PurgeGamers.com, or follow me on Facebook or Twitter if you guys want to see when I'm streaming. And once again, I'll be back in a bit with some gameplay, some Shadow Demon gameplay. I'm going to try to make some recordings for Dota Cinema, the YouTube channel. So stay tuned, guys. I'll be back in a sec.